Hello everyone, this is Simon from WrittenLegalEnglish.com and welcome to this end of the week video where I'm going to go through the 4 sentences I tested you with on Tuesday to see if you identified the correct issue in each sentence. In other words, what was the plain language error in each sentence? Or if it wasn't a plain language error, what was the grammar error in each sentence? And I'll tell you where I got that material from. In case you didn't see the video on Tuesday and you want to have a go, then these are the sentences that I asked you to have a look at. If you want to copy and paste them, you'll find the same sentences in the video description to this video. So take 5 minutes, have a quick think about it and see if you can identify what those errors are. If you would just like to see me going through them, then let's continue. Okay, so in the first sentence, I think this one was quite easy to identify. This error is called comma splices with, in particular, in this case, with however. Now, this is an easy rule to remember, and it's an easy rule to implement in your own writing, and it's all to do with how we punctuate around transitions. In this case, the transition is however, and however is a transition which is very, 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 very common, so it's good to use this as an example. But of course, the same rule applies to all manner of transitions, whether they are single word transitions or multi-word transitions. And of course, I say transitions, but I am talking about linking discourse markers, linking devices, connectives, whatever you want to call them. And of course, if you don't know what any of these terms are, comma splices, linking devices, transitions, and so on, Google is your friend. So go to Google, type in the term, and see the resources that Google can offer you, or refer to a good old-fashioned grammar book. Okay, so the problem with this is when we're using transitions in the middle of a sentence is that we don't put the semicolon before however, and we need to. If you have a look at this corrected sentence down here, it gives you 2 possible ways to deal with this error. The first way is by using a semicolon. The second way here is by just simply ending the sentence before however, and then starting the sentence with however and then putting the comma afterwards. It is not correct form to isolate however with commas. Now, this second sentence might have had you scratching your heads. What could possibly be wrong with this? This is very much a contextual error, and this is called tense shifts. This is where you're shifting tense in a sentence. Now, the reason why this is an error is because it can confuse the reader. Are you talking about the past? Are you talking about the present? Are you talking about the future? And if you are shifting tenses in one sentence, or sometimes in a paragraph, between different time frames, as I'll call them, the past, the present, and the future, in an unexpected way, then that makes the context very strange. Where are we in time? And it could be seen in this example sentence. He said that he feels angry at the contractor. Are we talking about the past? Are we talking about the present? Where exactly are we? So if we make the tenses agree in terms of time, then it makes a lot more sense. So he said that he felt angry at the contractor, or you could say in the present form, he is saying that he feels angry at the contractor. So keep the time, or do your best to avoid tense shifts, time shifts in a sentence or in a paragraph, or at least avoid situations where by having tense shifts you could create confusion. Now, this third sentence goes all the way back to the basics of plain language communication, and that is keeping the 3 parts of the sentence close together. That is to keep the subject, the verb, and the object as close together as possible. There are a number of reasons why we want to do this, from simply clear communication all the way through to emphasis. There are a number of advantages of keeping information close together. Those 3 particular pieces of information, the subject, the verb, and the object. Separating those 3 elements with lots of text makes the sentence really difficult to read because the reader can get lost. You're giving the reader lots of extra information which might take them away from your main message. And that's what's happening in this sentence. So one way that we can change this, as is suggested in the source material that I'm going to share with you, is to add in extra information to bring everything together, particularly as you can see at the end of the sentence. So although plaintiffs contend that they are asserting a claim for unjust enrichment for which punitive damages are available, that contention is suspect. So we've got the subject, verb and object together right at the end of the sentence, but then we've got that link in the subject, that contention, that links back to the beginning of the clause where it says, although plaintiffs contend. Now, this particular revision is a classic example of the revision you might make in your second or third draft. It is eminently possible or evidently possible that when you're writing your first draft, you're putting your ideas down onto paper for the first time, you don't make these links in your writing, which is why the reviewing process is so important. So when you review it and when you redraft your document for the second or third time, you're asking yourself, am I bringing the information together? Is this clear for the reader? Could I rephrase this in a way that communicates the message effectively? And in doing that, you might add in extra information. So plain language, just to remind you guys, is not about taking information out of the text to make it simple. Sometimes plain language is about putting information back into the text or extra information into the text to make it clearer to the reader. And the last example is one of my favourite examples, and this is to do with misused commas. And the reason why this error exists is because people write in the same way that they speak. So someone might say, for example, even if it is assumed, arguendo, that attorney's fees could be awarded, the amount of fee and other costs are clearly excessive. And someone might actually say that sentence in that way. So then they think, then I shall write it in that way. How can I do that? I'll have to use lots of commas. No. We speak in one way, we write in a different way. And we certainly don't replicate the way that we speak in our writing, because if we do and we throw in all of those commas, we could be causing all kinds of problems, not just from the point of view of comprehension, but also from the point of view of legality as well. So what we've got to do here is review the sentence. Ideally, you want to keep comma use to a minimum, and if you do that, you have a simple, straightforward structure, such as this revision here. Even if attorney's fees could be awarded, the amount of the fee and other costs are clearly excessive. Okay guys, it's time for the big reveal. Where did I get my information from? I got it from the Michigan Bar Journal, of course. One of my favourite articles from February 2012, of course, authored by Brian Garner, one of the giants of plain language community, particularly within the area of law, or areas of law and business. And he authored an article which you'll find in a number of places on the internet, the 20 most common sentence level faults among native speaking, I'll add that in, legal writers. Of course, this is available for you guys to download if you wish, and I recommend that you do. There is a link to the article in the video description, and of course, please make sure that you visit Michigan Bar Journal's website. You can see the link here and in the video description, and check out the resources that they have. Okay guys, if you liked the video, then please be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. Follow me on my social media channels, whether it's YouTube, LinkedIn or Facebook, or if you want to support me and get access to my legal English, business English writing courses, then think about joining me on Patreon. Okay guys, have a fantastic weekend, and I'll see you again on Tuesday with another video with some text for you to have a think about.